All right. So super excited. Amber here. Um, Joining me is the lovely Kathy, my book club sister over here. Um, and we have started reading The Fifth Agreement by Don Miguel Ruiz and Don Jose Ruiz, actually. So his son helped him a big part of this book. Um, and we were just having like this super beautiful conversation about, well, just kind of sitting with who we are instead of always searching, always looking for the next thing that can help us get over our problems, the next ceremony, the next healer, the next cord cutting, the next whatever it is, the next thing that can help us solve all of our problems. But really, what we need to do is fucking sit here with ourselves and listen,
Yes,
allow.
yes. And I think it's so important because for so long I spent a lot of time judging myself and I would label things as good or bad or negative thoughts and positive thoughts. And when I get rid of the judgment and I just get curious, amazing things happen. I think judgment stops me dead in my tracks. Curiosity takes me into beautiful paths into just exciting explorations of things.
Yeah. And it's like really uncomfortable too,
Yeah,
to sit with all of the feelings. I mean, even just like the feeling of loneliness and being alone. Like
yeah,
when we start to feel that, well, what is making us feel that? Instead of just going down into this rabbit hole of, I am alone, no one loves me, I don't have friends, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Instead of that, like what is happening in like in their surrounding moments or days or leading up to this point? Or even this point, maybe it's just this day. Like, what led us here? And like, why are we feeling that? So, coming to the root, which, like, these first few pages are telling us and reminding us, like, one of the big things that Don Ruiz talked about in the Four Agreements is the fact that from the minute we're children, our parents, our environment, our schools, our government, all of these things created who we were because they told us who we were supposed to be. And they told us what was good to do and be and what was bad to do and be. And so if we're constantly told like we have a nose like our father, we're going to believe we have a nose like our father. And if that relationship is bad with the father or like between the mother and the father, well, it's going to be a bad thing that I have a nose like my father. And so I'm
yeah,
constantly going to wish that I had a fucking better nose, right? Or if I'm constantly told that, you have a terrible voice, or like you need to be quiet, you talk too much, or you scream too much as a baby, or this or that. You're going to grow up thinking that you shouldn't sing, that you shouldn't speak your truth. And it's going to be hard to express yourself fully
hmm,
because we're grown up with this idea about ourselves of who we are. But in reality, that is not us. In reality, that's what the external environments told us we were. And so, like, these first few pages of the five agreements is just like this beautiful reminder like, there comes a point in time when we realize what the environment told us we are and should be, and the awareness of, well, we have a choice to be who we want to be and how we want to be, and we can rewrite that at any single day, any single moment. It's kind of really profound when you actually sit and
Yep.
think about it.
Yeah. I love this sentence in here that after domestication, we try to be good enough for everybody else, but we are no longer good enough for ourselves because we can never live up to our image of perfection. And boy, was such a stumbling block in my life because I thought in order to be seen, in order to be validated, in order to be accepted, and belong, I had to live up to what this image that I had of what that looked like. And it was all based on what was going on outside of me. And the reality is what I now know is that I have everything I need inside of me. And my self-worth isn't based on what other people think. It's about what I think and what I feel. And if I can learn to love myself and remember that I am enough exactly as I am, then I'm good.
Yeah.
So it's so simple, but it's really hard.
Yeah. And it's just because like we're just surrounded by all this external noise all the time. All
Yep.
the time. And he talks about it's like what your friends say about you. It's like your friends, your parents, your teachers, your grandparents. Everyone has an image of you. Everyone
Yeah.
has a idea in their own mind who they think you are. And that comes out in their words and their actions, around you. So as we're moving through life, it's hard to remember that, well, this is all a projection of who they think I am. And their words about me, surrounding me, are still all a projection from themselves of who
Yep.
I am. Um, and unless we know and figure out or read this book or in some way figure out that we are not that projection, like we literally, like you said, I have my opinions, I have my thoughts, I have my feelings that are mine, and like learn to attune to them, learn to listen to them, and learn to differentiate between others and ourselves. Well, then we can really tap into that self-love, the self-truth, our truth as a human being, like who we are. Um, and it's not like stuff gets easier, but there can be less drama, which is what he talks about. There can
Uh-huh.
be way less drama.
Yeah, definitely less drama. And I know when I'm operating from my truest slash highest self when I'm calm. So if I find myself getting agitated or stirred up, I know that it is time for me to take a breath and pause and just step back and sit with myself for a little bit and figure out what the heck is stirring me up.
Yeah. Yeah. And like that's another thing. Like when do we do that? Like when do we, like give
Yeah.
ourselves space to do that?
I mean, that for me, what has made a huge difference is that the commitment I made to journaling in the morning. I mean, I try to pause throughout the day when I get really agitated, but journaling and really talking to myself via writing has been such a good way for me to process stuff. And it really also helps me tap into the truths that are inside of me. Instead of looking for the next book, the next movie, the next podcast that's going to tell me what I'm supposed to be feeling, if I just write about it, I can get to it sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if we like, it's like that, like free mind, free thoughts, right?
Yeah.
So let ourselves
Yeah.
write how it
Yep.
comes.
Yep.
Typically, we'll write through all of the feelings and the emotions, and we'll
Yep.
eventually get to the truth, which is simple.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really difficult, and the words we see and hear, like us write, can be pretty difficult things
Yeah.
to realize. We're like, oh, like, wow, that might not sound very nice. That might not sound very good. But from that point, then we get to like the light. We get to like that
Yes.
realization point.
Yeah. I also have great faith and trust that the universe will present stuff to me as I am ready to receive it.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
I have to keep myself prepared and ready to receive, but I think that I get stuff when I am supposed to get it. I think the universe has my back and is with me on this journey.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's where me and you are very similar because it's like I talk about this all the time, like, but I can't really explain it. Like, I can't explain the amount of trust that I have in the universe and in like the energies that
Yeah,
I'm gonna be given everything I need,
yeah,
regardless of any situation. Like, because my heart, I know my heart's in the right place.
yeah,
And it's like we're not doing things with venom, like what Don Ruiz talks about. We're not doing things with venom. It's coming from our heart. And so just with that alone, we're gonna be given. We'll
yeah.
have trust. If we can have trust in ourselves and the universe, we'll be fine. But other than that, I don't know how to explain
I don't either.
it.
Because and there's the lesson there is there is certain stuff that we where we just have a knowing.
Yeah.
And I think for a long time I wanted to figure out what that knowing was about. And now I'm okay with just the idea that sometimes I just know.
Yeah. Yeah. And there doesn't have to be a reason why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to get into the rest.